Hey guys, welcome to episode 9, and we are talking about another feature again. Today is a feature video, and the feature that we're going to be talking about is dispatching. So what I wanted to do with this video is just sort of answer some of the misconceptions and their questions that we had around dispatching. How does the dispatching system work? And just kind of give you sort of an overview of the process. So this hopefully will be a quicker video, a shorter video. So let's talk about dispatching and how it works in sort of like the general context so everybody's on the same page. So for the most part, dispatching is you have a company ABC, right? And they have a problem, a leakage, fire, the air conditioning broken, whichever. Pick a company, electrical problem, whatever it is, right? So we're dealing with service companies here. And so what they do is, whoever is inside of that company, the first thing that they do is they pick up the phone and they dial a number. And who did they dial? Your business, of course, right? So they dial into your business. And this is procedure you already know, but I'm just making sure that everybody's on the same page here. So they dial into your business and your admin person picks up the phone. She answers the call or he answers the call and then basically enters it into our system, or a system, but in this particular case, our system, because we're talking about a feature of our system. So once they do that, they now have, sir, my furnace is broken. They have the contact name of the person, whoever it is. And so in the traditional way, normally what would happen is this admin person may or may not talk to a service manager who may or may not be on the road, right? And kind of coordinate with them about, hey, so this call came in is for XYZ business. Should we send out the truck right away? Who do we have available? And so on and so on. And they might do some communication back and forth, and he might say, you know what, send out John. John is actually in that area, and he's pretty close. He could get there with his truck, in a few minutes or whatever, right? So he could get there pretty fast. So send John out, right? So that's typical scenario of a service call. Nothing new here, nothing strange. But the inefficiencies is what we're trying to point out here, and that's what we're trying to get to. And all these videos are related around that if you haven't necessarily picked that up already, right? Number one is the call comes in. That's perfectly fine, okay? This back and forth here, definitely an inefficient process because now she has to pick up the phone, call him, text him, whatever it is, so that he gets the information so he figures out what needs to happen next. So the first thing is we have, after they enter that information, there's one button in the system, just one, okay? And you set the template here, but when you press that button, it sends a message to the service manager, giving him every details that he needs to know to make a decision on his project. The work order number, the job site, the address, the problem, all that kind of stuff on his mobile device, either by a text message or via email, right? Well formatted so he could see, okay, definitely got to deal with this right now, right? And then he says, let's send this over to John, okay? So with another button, admin person presses that button, and this is the text message version here, okay? What happens is the system sends out, so this is the system here, sends out an SMS, short message service, text message basically, to John's phone, right? So John receives a message now, says you have to go to ABC company, their furnace is broken, or whatever the problem is, fix it, okay? At this point, this is very important, at this point, nothing necessarily has been done. The system has now recognized that it's been dispatched. You just sent the message. Now, this admin person actually does not know whether this message actually successfully went through. Why? Well, the carrier, Bell, Rogers, Verizon, whoever you're with, right, might be down at that particular point. So the message actually never got through to John. So it's very important. So how do we fix this problem? How do we ensure that if I send out a text message to him, that we know that it's actually being dispatched to John and John got that message? So John, in order to him to acknowledge, he has to respond to this message with okay. literally the words okay as a text message. And when he does that, the system will automatically send that back, update the work order, and change the status. Now, the same thing goes apply. John might have sent that text message and he has no guarantee now that that message was sent. He has no guarantee, right? So John gets a response. Thank you for your message. If John does not see that message, our system did not accept that message. So he could retry or whatever it is. But the point is that the message has now been confirmed at office location that he's received it. And so he knows to take further action there, right? But that's how we ensure bi-directional communication when we send the text message out, that the technician received it and they sent back a message and our system acknowledged it so that he could then think. And when that happens, you could optionally send out, and again, via the system, you just set the rule and say, you know what, I'd like you to automatically send this guy an email from ABC Company saying, hi sir, a technician is on his way. We could even say John is on his way and John will be there, you know, within the next 2 to 4 hours or 4 to 6 hours window to fix your problem. Stay tuned, right? So that's sort of the scenario and how I want to describe the text message service. So you can see the text message service is really simple and it solves a very practical problem. Because one of the things that we've noticed with this system is that before this was in place, the service manager would send these ridiculously long texts of all the details that's trapped on his phone. And the problem with that is that he would send the description to John. John has it, but then the admin person now still has to follow up with him to figure out what the details is and still retype that message. This way, our motto is once she enters it once, nobody has to retype that information again. It's saved into the system and it can be transferred over and over. Now, when John gets onto the job site, all right, and he completes that job, finishes up whatever he's doing or he's supposed to do on that job, then he basically responds with a code, C or A or whatever the code is, right? And that sends an update into the system and marks that job in the system as being completed. So on your dashboard, as you as a business owner, you could see your dashboard and your dashboard would automatically change with that status. So a very systematic, simple procedure to get in text message out. Now, optionally, the good thing about the text message system is that it doesn't require any data. So you could use it exactly as it is right now. But sometimes it's not exactly the way that you want to go. So sometimes if you have a data plan, you could use the app. And this gives you a lot more advanced features. By the way, I should mention, with the text message system, after John is finished, he could take some pictures, right, of the job site, and then he could send them in via text message. And those will automatically be hooked up to the work order because the system knows which work order he was working on, right? And if he's working on multiple, there's ways to deal with that as well too, right? Because what you do is you put in the work order number and you attach the picture with it, okay? Now, on the other side, you could use the app. And the app is a lot more advanced, full-featured, because not only can you update the status of the work order, you could record notes, you could type your notes inside of there. And coming soon at a later date, we're working on the ability for them to just record it via voice. I fixed blah, 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 what happened, bought 3 items, enter all that details. Whatever items used, it automatically enters it into the system. We're working on this technology because we're using AI, this is big words now, but artificial intelligence, in order to pull that data out from the app via voice and put it into the right fields into the system. All right, so these are things that we're working on as we start building out our solution. But the point here is that this gives you an overview, hopefully it does, about how the feature of dispatching works within SnapSuite. And hopefully it makes sense to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to answer them. You might have a specific case that not necessarily falls within this line, and we'll be happy to address it. All right, thank you.